Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hello.
Dramatic situation for everybody. Ebola. What are your thoughts about Ebola? Do being in Africa, so you have something.
Well, one of the first things that strikes me is how many misconceptions there are about what's happening and about the disease and about how it's contracted. And the misconceptions have really penetrated everyone's thinking in a way that's really just become paranoia, just panic,
and not necessarily helpful to actually helping the situation, or for people that do live and work and need to go to Africa.
Yeah. So from the perspective of living here in the U.S., in New Jersey, they don't know where Guinea is, they don't know where Sierra Leone is, they don't know where Liberia is exactly, so they're very confused.
What are your concerns about in Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea?
My greatest concern is having understanding at the local level about
Mba, Nidro.
Ile tori?
Tole Jume Traore.
Ifa tori?
Mfa tole sa Ibrahima Traore.
Ebola
Ebola, Kinibakoro, Sigri, Guinea.
Joyma.
Mba, Nike. Jume Traore.
And where are you from?
I'm from New York City. My father's from Guinea.
And what do you think about the Ebola virus?
Well, I think the Ebola virus in West Africa and all over the world is a very big and serious issue. I'm very concerned about my extended family in Guinea and in West Africa. And I think that everyone's support and prayers should go out to people who have been affected by the Ebola virus.
Hi, Maura.
Hi, Ibrahima.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Yes, thank you for doing this question about Ebola.
It's my pleasure.
As a mother who's raised two boys, how do you feel about Ebola in West Africa today?
Oh, it's heartbreaking. I can't imagine what it would be like to live in fear of this virus that just seems to be taking over. I mean, here in the U.S., it's kind of amazing the panic that we've had with just 4 cases. With 5,000 deaths and 10,000 cases, I can't even imagine what it must be like. I think as a matter of fact, I'm anxious about the enterovirus, so I can't even imagine worrying about my children in Ebola.
So what message do you send to people in West Africa about this?
Oh, I hope that as many healthcare workers as we can send can get over there to help. The world, our hearts are with you. I hear promising news about improvements and the number of cases decreasing, and it really makes my heart happy. I hope it continues to decline. I hope people in the United States become a little more reasonable about...
Are needed, really.
So the local languages are spoken there, not French, not English, not Japanese. We need to find languages that are local and get a ground force of people that speak.
Media network can help in this kind of situation.
It may, if it's targeted the right way. I know, any sort of change of someone's habits is very difficult and slow. So getting someone to change what they do day to day, whether it's their hygiene, personal hygiene, they greet people, or what they eat,
or even their rituals at death. When someone dies, you wash them and you wrap them, and then you hug them and you hold them, and then you bury them. So that alone is one of the biggest risks, transferring then the Ebola virus to others. So, how do you say to someone, actually don't do that, when that's in fact what they need to do in order to feel like they've had a completion of the life? So
imagine if it's your parents, or if it's your child, maybe the only person important to you in your life who's then passed on from this, to let go and not go through that tradition, of actually giving them a proper burial and really having a chance to hug them and say goodbye must be devastating.
A mother who had her child. The overall, this whole situation, I think, is very, very devastating for the whole human race, because is not only is taking life, but before you even take life, he disconnect, separate you from your loved one, which is very hard, especially for mothers, children for 9 months, carry them for 2 years, so it's married. What do you say about that?
It's one of the hardest things.
I'm just asking you, what do you think about Ebola in West Africa today?
Of course, I'm saddened and I am taken aback by the whole epidemic. I do feel that it has been a very, very hard blow to those countries in West Africa, especially due to its past of civil unrest and just unstable government ruling. I do feel that, and I do hope that it doesn't change or make things go backwards, and hopefully people will see this as a stepping stone to move forward.
So
anyone dying and not being able to, that's when you want to be closest, and the people that are dying would probably want to be comforted, and in fact they need to be isolated. So I don't know of a solution to this, especially without the medical equipment to make a safe environment for this caring to happen.
From the local community needs to step up and explain, what the consequences will be for continuing, to embrace their loved ones when they die, and to change what they've been doing. That it's such a slow process that I can't imagine that they would react quickly enough to really stop it from spreading. Oh, I spent a few years in Cameroon.
And you, Greta?
I spent time in Guinea and Mali, and also in South African countries as well. South Africa, Botswana, Zambia.
Between the countries, you mean? Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I think the commitment and dedication to community, to family, to tradition, it seems strong across cultures. But I guess you could say that even beyond African countries, that goes everywhere. But I think one thing that may be unique is when you're combining the traditions with a lack of resources and the lack of sufficient supplies and materials make the decisions that much more dramatic.
And Greta?
I'm Greta Peterman Traore.
Carolyn?
I'm Carolyn Demifek.
Thank you very much for coming to our studio, and I appreciate your thoughts, and I hope this message get to the rest of the world, because this is a big contribution you're doing for Ebola, against Ebola. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bonjour, nous sommes à New York City, aux États-Unis. Nous sommes venus voir le professeur Elhaj Aboubakar Demba Traoré pour lui demander ses idées et son opinion sur l'épidémie Ebola qui a attaqué notre région, sous-région de l'Afrique de l'Ouest, la Guinée, le Libéria et la Sierra Leone. Bonjour, professeur.
Bonjour, merci de la visite. L'événement d'Ebola est une préoccupation d'abord nationale en Guinée, le Libéria, la Sierra Leone, aussi sur le plan international. C'est une épidémie qui affecte pratiquement le monde entier, ou directement ou indirectement, une grande mobilisation. Comme toute pandémie, Ebola est arrivé à un moment où on ne s'attend pas du tout à un tel phénomène dans notre région, surtout que la Guinée avait commencé, était sur la voie d'un démarrage économique plausible. La mobilisation nationale et internationale aidant, nous faisons face à ce fléau. Malheureusement, nous ne savons pas encore quand ça va finir, mais nous espérons que avec l'aide internationale sur le plan financier, sur le plan médical, nous trouverons une solution à ce fléau. Le problème crucial d'abord, c'est nos populations. Nous ne sommes pas préparés, aucune population en fait n'est préparée devant un tel fléau, surtout c'est médical. Et ça se propage, n'est-ce pas, Ebola se propage facilement parce que les gens voyagent. Ils vont d'un village à un autre village. En fait, il n'y a pas de frontières chez nous. Même sur le plan international aussi, il n'y a pas de frontières puisque les gens voyagent. Alors, quelles sont les dispositions à prendre? D'abord, rassurer nos populations que que nous pouvons canaliser si nous ne cédons pas à la peur, si nous ne cédons pas à la propagande et si nous ne cédons pas surtout à l'indifférence, sous l'indifférence de quelque nature que ce soit.
Merci. Quel conseil donner pour les ressortissants guinéens, sierra-léonais et libériens aux États-Unis et au Canada?
Les ressortissants de nos trois pays doivent se mobiliser pour informer, n'est-ce pas, les populations où ils se trouvent, aux États-Unis, au Canada, une mobilisation donc entière, totale, pour aider nos populations sous quelque forme que ce soit, en médicaments, matériel hospitalier. On peut faire des collectes, n'est-ce pas, fundraising comme on dit vers ici, pour envoyer l'argent ou toute autre forme d'assistance que nous pouvons donner à nos populations dans ces trois localités.
D'accord. Et si on appelle nos parents, nos amis en Afrique, que peut-on leur dire pour les rassurer?
D'abord, ils doivent savoir que nous aussi, nous sommes très concernés sur ce qui se passe chez nous. Que nous ne les oublions pas, que nous sommes avec eux dans les prières et surtout qu'ils sachent que nous sommes mobilisés selon nos possibilités ici pour venir en aide, en assistance, et quel que soit montant, que ce soit finance, matériel, tout ce que nous pouvons avoir, il faudrait que nous puissions leur envoyer notre contribution pour qu'ils sachent que nous sommes avec eux, que nous sommes solidaires et qu'ils ne sont pas abandonnés par leurs frères et leurs sœurs qui sont dans la diaspora.
Merci, professeur.
C'est moi qui vous remercie. Qui s'abat chez nous, sur nos populations, prend une dimension internationale qui est considérable. Malheureusement pour nous, nous n'avons pas les moyens nécessaires pour éradiquer ce fléau dans les meilleurs délais. Mais nous espérons qu'avec l'aide internationale et surtout la population, nos populations doivent accepter de prendre les précautions minimum qui s'imposent dans un cas de ce genre. Évidemment, le contexte culturel est déjà un handicap, puisque dans nos pratiques religieuses, il faut nécessairement laver les cadavres avant de les enterrer. Et cela peut amener de contagion, de contamination. Alors il faudrait que nos populations acceptent, n'est-ce pas, d'abandonner, ne serait-ce que pour cette période précise, ces pratiques afin d'éviter